everybody. This is David Cohen. Who else? Last week, I was talking about the newly released Hasselblad X2D Mark II. Yasmina is behind the camera.
Sorry, I just know the script.
Mimicking me.
Already.
If only I was as attractive as she is.
And this week, this video will be about...
Leica rumors.
Oh, we love a good rumor.
Don't we? Is this going to be a dialogue now?
No.
No.
I'll let you continue.
Okay. So, of course, products come to an end, product cycles, products, and rumors have intensified as to like the end of production of Leica Q2 monochrome. And more rumors have emerged recently about a possible, and I would say very likely, Leica Q3 monochrome. Why do I think most likely? Well, I would say the reasons are quite obvious. You have established a product line like the monochrome. Why would you stop all of a sudden? Especially when you additionally released a Q3 43, which, by the way, every time I take photos, and recently we were at Kunsthistorisches Museum in Wien, which is a museum of art history in Vienna, with terrific photos. You find them on my second Blue Sky, you find them on my second Instagram. I keep posting a few because I have rarely had so many keepers. Back to Leica, so such a great camera, and I would hope, and I'm looking forward to a Q3 43 monochrome. And then I might reconsider what I said in terms of the Q3 43 is going to be my last big camera in January when I got it. It wouldn't be such reconsideration, because if we acquired such a camera, it would be for the two of us. So it wouldn't be a David Cohen camera, it would be something we use together under a different label. Which one remains to be seen. But very, very much interested in a Q3 monochrome in the first place, and I would love to see a Q3 43 in monochrome. What else? There are increasingly more rumors about Leica M11 something or M12 with an electronic viewfinder. I would truly support this. I think it is time to take some steps toward a more modern approach. Tradition is a very nice thing, but it must not, and I repeat, must not stop, stifle, prevent development. Leica was on the brink of oblivion, of annihilation, when Dr. Kaufman intervened and saved the company and brought it, led it to this point in Leica's history with record sales and record profits. Well, for the moment, this is about it.
Wow.
You have never seen such a short
I'm shocked.
Clip from me. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, you know what? I have a question for you. I know this is going off the rails, probably, but I wanted to ask you, maybe this is one of those TED Talk kind of questions, But you know, the summer was very long recently. I mean, it's always long, but I had the feeling it was dragging on. And as you probably know, David and I, we are not fans of summer.
No.
And we are looking forward to increased projects as of September, because you know, in summer we have workshops, but throughout the year, as of September until like June, it is way more intense. And I wanted to ask you, what are some things like you've learned in the last maybe couple of months, in terms of workflows, some life lessons? Just give me like 3 life lessons. And I know this question, this video is really more about the first topic, but I just wanted to, because you know, you have so much experience, you've seen a lot, you had to change your workflow so many times throughout your life. And the most recent one is, I mean, you went like from analog to digital, then we had social media, the rise of the
Mirrorless.
internet, mirrorless, AI, and now also just, you know, a lot of, there are so many different aspects in terms of how we work as creatives. And in general in life, what are the 3 life lessons you would say, or you would give to somebody maybe who is either starting out photography or any other projects, like any kind of creative work? What would be something that you say, you know, this is what I learned this summer or this year that I wish I had known like the year before? Now I know I talked a lot. What do you think? I mean, I'll let you process that.
Actually, you asked me several questions,
Sorry.
at least 3.
So you guys know, you know, this is how our conversations go in our relationship. We are talkers.
Life lessons. So let's start with, what would I tell somebody who starts with photography, and not only photography, but yeah, photography. No matter whether you will do it as a main income or whatever. First of all, don't fear high ISO. Today's cameras are amazing. Some are better, some are stellar, some are okay by today's standards, but just going back 5 years in time, 8 years in time, and ISO is no longer a problem. The most important lesson, info, advice I can pass on is something general. Don't be afraid. Follow your heart. It is not an additional point, it walks together. I had a fantastic story. As some of you may remember, I was talking about photographers who influenced me, who I admire. And among them is Andreas Bitesnich. He is an Austrian photographer who, as far as I know, not only left Austria, but is living somewhere. He is not as famous as, I don't know, many others who don't have 10% of his potential, artistic potential. I wouldn't say talent. Talent is one thing, but artistic potential. And he once talked about a guy who used to book his workshops. He was from Japan. And he said one of his best moments in life, as a photographer, but as a human being, was when the same guy wrote to him saying, you know what, after my last workshop with you, I sold everything I owned in Japan. I moved to Paris, France. I was working hard, but it was my passion. It is my passion. And soon I'm going to have my first exposition in Paris. A lot of you at least know somebody who is afraid to change his employment who is afraid to change from one flat to the other. I can't understand this. And I'm happy I don't know such people, because I wouldn't know what to talk about with them, since my life will be completely different. Don't be afraid. Follow your heart no matter what. And this is why don't have kids, because most likely they will, in some way or another, limit you. Limit in the sense that the moment you have kids, they take the front seat. You have to be realistic. If you want to have kids, they are the most important thing. Everything you want is third, fourth, fifth place, but that will limit you, that will impact you, and therefore choose wisely the person you live with. Because it's not easy. And I'm not talking to men, I'm talking to women, and my professional focus in terms of colleagues has always been much more with women, because this job, this profession, this industry is so male-centered that it is terrible. And I tell you, terrible. I welcome full-heartedly every single female photographer who walks down that road.
That's a good point. On the other hand, there will be people who say that, men are probably showing more interest in photography. Like, there aren't many female photographers because not many women are showing interest in
That's wrong.
photography.
That's basically wrong.
I think, I agree with you on that, in the basis that we cannot know that. And for example, we had a camera at home, but it was like for the brothers, and we always had to ask for permission. And I had a phone later on that I had. It wasn't very good for photography. I was interested, but I didn't have the encouragement, neither the tools to fulfill that dream. And I didn't even know that it could be something I could do at all. And I'm sure there are more people out there who fit this profile. It's difficult to say, but I do welcome the fact that there are more female photographers, because it's always nice to have like a different perspective. That's my take on it.
Every male photographer offers a different perspective. What I want to see is the breaking up, the destruction of male dominance in photography.
In every sector. And I think you're right about that, actually. Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm on board on this thought.
You're the best example.
Yeah, that's true. Like, even when I look for videos on photography or cameras, there are just a few women who are doing these videos. I don't see, I'm happy when I see those women, because it's nice to have, like, there's a male perspective and there are different types of male perspective. But for me personally, it's also nice to hear.
Look, you just need to compare when we shoot together boudoir.
Right. That's true.
My photos and your photos. And sometimes we take very similar photos in terms of angle, because we stand next to each other, or we take photos from nearly the same point in this room.
Right.
But yours look different from mine, and mine look different from you.
There is no better photo. I think it is just the story you want to tell.
But
right?
A woman, especially in this industry, and I have seen it with Suze Randall, who was one of the first
I love her work.
Female erotic lingerie boudoir penthouse photographer.
Right.
It definitely was different.
Yeah.
And I want to see that. And every time I hear, whether in the presence of women or not, I hold men, primitive men with sexist locker room comments, conversations, I hold them accountable, because whether women are present or not, it is the mindset, and I will not have that in my presence.
Same here.
And I shame them, and I expose them with their names. I warn models about the slightest sexist comment, because especially in this industry, in this line of photography, trust is everything. And the moment a woman has the slightest reason to feel uneasy, we all suffer.
And just to add another point, not to this conversation, but one thing I've noticed about you is it's not something you've done recently, but you've always done this. It's always looking for new ways of improving your workflow, whether it's photography or video, for example, DaVinci software. And I think that is one life lesson I think you can agree on. Like, always look for new tools.
I actively look for new tools. I found Evodo. I found Apathy. I found, what is it, Rebloom or something. I'm testing it now.
And you also take part in the surveys sometimes for some of these companies, and you send your feedback, because you want to have a different...
I'm building Leica communities on a private basis.
Yeah, so there's so much you do, and that's what I'm saying, that this is a life lesson, that if you haven't started it, do it now. Just because you learned one way of working, that is not the end, you know? It is the beginning. It is like clay. It is like clay. You keep forming it, you know, creating new things. Now I'm talking a lot in your video. But yeah, I think this was really useful information for a lot of people out there, because I think, you know, you are for sure we're not just together, but I also see you as a mentor in that sense.
On a final note, this Sunday is a particular Sunday for us Formula One aficionados. 55 years ago, I remember it was my first year of interest in Formula One. I lost my first idol. It was Jochen Rindt. He died 55 years ago on the Monza circuit, and he's the first Formula One racer to become world champion after his death. It is also 50 years ago, Niki Lauda won, another one of my heroes, all-time Formula One heroes, won his first world championship in Monza. And today's hero, Max Verstappen, showed the McLaren that no matter what, it is the driver that counts. And at least this time he had the material, the car he needs, and he showed them where the music is playing. Another one of my heroes, unfortunately, has left us, even though he is technically alive. It's Michael Schumacher. Yeah. There is one last thing that Steve Jobs used to say during his famous keynotes. Many of you will be surprised. I'm very much interested in fashion, even though I'm not one of those luxury brand. I like to wear Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, and Ralph Lauren. Funny enough, with the exception of Tommy Hilfiger, both the other two are Jewish. I didn't know that. Nevertheless, since 1975, Giorgio Armani has been the hallmark of Italian elegance for me. There's nothing, when you compare Armani bags, Armani style, To everything else, maybe Louis Vuitton, maybe. I don't like Hermes at all. This is stuff for new rich. But Giorgio Armani has been the only designer who, until his death, was in charge of his own company. All the other brands were bought and are owned by some foreign holding structures. Giorgio Armani has left us, and even though I have never met him, I've always loved him, and it makes me sad. I wish you a nice Sunday. See you next week.